Hi there, I'm Darren McDermott and you're watching Dukascopy TV for an Asia update with ANZ's Glenn Stevens. Glenn, the Philippine economy is soaring and it no longer appears to be the sick man of Asia. Now inflation is at a 3-year high. We saw a rate hike last month. Glenn, do you expect the central bank to raise rates again at their next meeting on September 11th or wait a little while?
We don't expect the central bank to raise policy immediately. Rather, we expect to see continued adjustments through the technical account, which is largely the liquidity management tool, the SDA account, although risks are starting to skew towards more adjustment being required. The key dynamic we're focusing on is that growth rebounded in Q2 to 6.4% on the back of robust consumption growth, but also a recovery in the manufacturing sector. And the only real offset we're seeing is public investment at this time. Now, that does remain a key area to watch, given the focus on political transparency, which has become an important determinant of the medium-term potential growth rate in the Philippines. We are seeing a degree of underspend within the Philippines economy. And if that continues to be the case, that we see fiscal policy tightening because disbursements are slowing, then the case for monetary policy adjustment starts to fade with that. But certainly from an inflation and a growth perspective, risks are tilted towards higher rates, but we are expecting no immediate change.
Indonesia reported a narrow trade surplus in July, but the economy remains fragile and exposed to sudden shifts in capital flows. Now Glenn, what do you think are the main downside risks, and how do you think the new president will boost trade?
The Indonesia figures were quite interesting. When we look into the details of the number, what we see is that the narrower of the current account surplus reflects a significant fall in investment. And I think this is perhaps going to be one of the legacy issues that the new President Jokowi will inherit. A little bit of an uncertain environment and weakness in investment aligned with that. Given the figures were for July, it well could be that it was the uncertainty over the election outcome that led to the softer investment outturn and the weakness in capital goods imports. But we think the new president will move quickly to front-load infrastructure programs to continue to make Indonesia an attractive destination for foreign direct investment and production platforms. And as a result of that, we'd expect to see a pickup in capital goods imports. We don't think the Indonesia economy will be that fragile, and we're not expecting any sudden shifts in capital flows. Certainly, as we move closer to the commencement of the Fed rate hike cycle, which will probably be in the first quarter of 2015, we think the Indonesian economy will be performing strongly. There'll be a good degree of optimism about the new president, Jokowi, and capital is likely to remain relatively sticky in the Indonesian economy.
Thailand avoided a technical recession. Now growth is expected to pick up in the coming quarters. Glenn, what sort of actions are you expecting the central bank to implement in order to keep the recovery on track and avoid any setbacks?
Thailand is the interesting economy in Asia at the moment in that most of the policy stimulus is actually coming from fiscal policy. The military junta, which is in place, is clearly activating a very strong public works spending program, which will unfold over the next 2 to 3 years, and that will be a key support to growth. The military junta has also recently put price controls in place for food and energy, and that is freeing up disposable income in the economy, so we'd expect to see a recovery in consumption as well. So the interesting task for the central bank will be how they manage this very strong fiscal policy dynamic and public works spending. And to avoid the Thailand economy overheating, what they will probably have to do is commence a gradual tightening cycle through 2015 so the economy doesn't overheat and generate too much inflation. But Thailand appears to be the economy that will rebound very strongly over the course of 2015.
Glenn, as always, thank you very much for your time today. Well, viewers, don't go anywhere, do stay tuned, and I will be bringing you an update about the Irish economy tomorrow, so see you then.